Hello! And I've even turned my mic on at the same time. Wow, this is very much a first for us here at the Aquarium Adventures livestream. Gone live and my mic's switched on already. Let me know if you can see me and hear me in the chat while I say good evening everyone and welcome to the Aquarium Adventures livestream. It's Friday night, it's 9 PM UK time. It's time to have a bit of a chat about some nonsense. Show up how much I don't know about various aquatic things. Talk about some plans, talk about some future... That's the same thing as plans, Graham. What are you on about? Talk about some future plans. Talk about some things that have happened. And anything else in between. He says as he tries to... I've got my old glasses. I've lost my normal good glasses. So I'm having to use the ones that are super glued together. Held together with super glue, tape and hope more than anything else. But there we go. I can see me. Everything's got a green light on it. That's always a good sign. We've got 24 people in so far with only 8 likes. Come on, you know there is an admission price to this stream. You have to click the button on your way in or on your way out if I upset you in some way. But good evening all. Let me just set up my chat properly. Make sure we've got everything working as it should be, and then we can say hello to everyone who's here so far. And we'll know if that works because we'll press this and something will pop up on screen. Yes, there we go. Drone Nerd. There's a name I haven't heard before. Or I'm always wary of saying that in case that means I've been ignoring someone for a number of weeks. But welcome. If this is your first time here, there should be a button down there you can click that says subscribe or like. Just remember, the rules are you can see a button, click it. We've got Rocky is in. Good evening, Rockies. James Watkinson, the weekend is nearly here. The weekend is here. This is the start of the weekend. We're acknowledging this is the weekend. Sharpies, Fishing Phantoms, and Evening Adventure Nerds. You're doing well trying to get that name to stick, aren't you? I do like it. Maybe we'll have an Adventure Nerds line of merchandise. Where does that go? Let me just get rid of some things. There we go. We'll talk about merch in a little while. It's annoying the bejesus out of me. NGW, hi from Doncaster. Hi from Sheffield. I got your email. Thank you very much for reaching out. Simon Littlefield, evening. Lost the power of speech already. Evening, fishy friends. Evening, Simon. David Penner from a wet Merseyside. I don't know why I was trying to inject the word west in there. Good evening, everyone from a wet Merseyside. Well, so far it's dry, and I'm hoping it's going to stay dry because we've got some friends coming around. I was hoping to get the barbecue out tomorrow. So that's my weekend plan. As well as, it's just started raining just as I said that. Well, maybe that'll get it out of the way for tonight, and then it'll be nice tomorrow. Leanne, good evening. Lanxfish Keeper, hello. Scott says evening. Oh, don't forget to hit that like button. I couldn't agree more, Scott. It's only a little thing. Kaylee's in. Rocky's still in. I'm sure I said hello to you already. The Fish Vet Evening Fellow Fish Nerds. Another new name. I don't think I've recognised that one. Simon, Rocky's all clear. Yes, we can hear me. AV fine. Subtitles racist again. Good. Well, not good, but you know what I mean. If you are new here, apparently it's quite a fun game to turn on the subtitles and then see whether YouTube can translate my accent. Not even coherently. Sometimes it's just plain old evil to me. Loud and clear, good. Hans Hartman, hello there. Skins Arno. Clark's Mini Fish Room, good evening, Clark. Christine's here. The Miffed Matelot. Does the dislike button count? Do you know what? It probably does. And that's the thing about YouTube. It counts as an interaction. I think that's the term they like to use. So if your channel has any kind of interaction, whether it be someone liking it or disliking it, YouTube thinks, well, they're obviously doing something noteworthy, whether it's good or bad. They're either doing something someone's gone out of their way to say they like it, or they're doing something that someone's gone out of their way to say, oh, no, horrible. But that means people will keep watching. I think is where they're going with that. So yeah, dislike works just as well as like, even though you can't actually see dislikes anymore. So yeah, that all counts. Also, if you are new here, we've reset the clock. Now what that means is, it's a fairly new thing. I'm not sure how well this is working, but what happens is every month we do a live stream every Friday, 9 o'clock. Normally a couple of hours. Every time you chat, contribute in any way to the stream, you're given points, and you can check your points throughout the stream and see how many you've got. But at the end of the month, when we do the final live stream of the month, whoever's got the most points wins a prize. So last week's stream was the last one for June, and Sharpie ended up with the most points, and I think requested a Pleco shirt, so I've put that order in. Hopefully that will be on its way to you at some point. So we're starting afresh for the new month. So anytime you chat, you get a point. Anytime if you're a new subscriber, you should get some points for subscribing. If you join the channel, you get some points for subscribing, for joining, as well as a discount at aquariumadventures.co.uk. And yeah, any interactions basically give you some points. I've tried not to make it seem like a cash grab, so if you give me a super chat, I think it only gives you a couple of points, because I don't want people just buying the top positions, because I want it to be more about you saying things to me and me feeding off this. Because if you're new here, one thing you will quickly realise is the amount of planning that goes into these sessions. Whoa. Yeah, there's none. There's literally, on the way up the stairs to sit down, I was going, I wonder what I'll talk about tonight. So I rely on you guys to give me something to feed back off. So questions are always encouraged. Topics are encouraged. Even if you don't have specific questions, what do you think about bleh, whatever bleh is? And we'll get a bit of a discussion going. And I want to hear your feedback as well. So while I'm waxing lyrical about whatever the subject du jour is, let me know why I'm wrong, or why you disagree, or what your thoughts are, or if there's something important you think I'm missing a nuance of something, let me know. And I read most comments. I try and end up reading most comments. Sometimes it does get away from me a little bit. But yeah, so that's the general premise. The more you get involved, the more chances you've got to win us something. Right, this is a thing. Anybody here who does YouTube, I'm going to try and share my screen now. Little face. Why is that yellow? Is it because the word question is in it? I mean, it's not a super chat. It is a mod, but there's other mod comments up there that aren't yellow. This is the chat window for the live stream, by the way. Well, that's quite weird. I can look at myself over there. Shut up. Anyway, big face. Little face. It is indeed because you write the word question. So that's actually what I used to tell people was, big face, if you've got a question, type at Aquarium Adventures, and then I see it a little bit easier. So if you've got a question, just type the word question, and then I'll see it a lot better. Oh, look at that, YouTube making things easier for us. Fishfit says, yes, I'm new, blame BFL. Big Fish Lad, I guess that is. Yes, we talked about that a little bit last week. I was honoured to be included in the UK's top 5 YouTubers list, or something like that. Or top 5 YouTubers you've never heard of. Fish tubers you've never heard of. But yes, I thank you for that. And thank you for joining us. Hopefully I won't put you off. The live streams are admittedly a tad disorganised. My pre-recorded content slightly less disorganised, but nevertheless not premium. I think maybe that should be the new merch slogan. Not premium. You said the word barbecue. Yeah, that's gonna make rain come. KBH Nanofish. Hello there, KBH. Good day. Good day to you too. Christine getting in early with the furthest away person. I should really have a distance map charted out already for all the regulars. Lake Ontario on the 4th of July. Oh, of course it is, for our American friends. The 4th of July weekend. Well, hang on, it's the 1st of July. Would that not be Monday that's 4th of July? Oh, right, okay. Yeah, happy Traitor Day or whatever it is that we call it from over this side of the pond. Oh, well, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and start calming the hell down, doing some weird shit over there. It's very disconcerting because we tend to copy you, so, cut it out. Phil Clark, evening Phil. Phil, the main man. Elite logos for you. Any of your logo needs and requirements, such as merch like this. This is all done by Elite Logos, and Phil is the main guy there. He sorts out all the stickers and everything for this channel. Thank you very much, Phil. Will you talk about Aquarium, says Mario Van Legion. Can't be Legion. Legion. I apologise for butchering your name, Mario. Will you talk about Aquarium in general or a specific aquarium? Come on. What does that mean? I'll probably talk about aquariums at some point. Mad Bren. Hi guys, a little late. That's quite alright. So there you go. This is the point system that I was talking about. So as we get more and more comments through the days and weeks, you'll see here. So at the moment, Simon's winning with 1, as is Leanne, as is David, because everyone's only got 1 point. So the more comments you make, the more you get to see, and you get to see. You get to check by doing !points. That'll tell you how many points you've got. !top will show you the top 10 or who the number 1 is. And various other things that one day I will get around to making an image that explains all this rather than me rambling on for 10 minutes trying to explain it to you. But as Simon says, points mean prizes. That's not the only way you can win prizes. Normally we'll do a giveaway or two. I'm very, very, very behind on the giveaway. What's the word I'm looking for? On actually giving away the giveaways. So I've got a pile of parcels that I need to take to the post office that will get everyone's pens, stickers, goodie bags, all that kind of stuff. We'll get that sent out to you as soon as possible. But it has been a bit manic here at Aquarium Adventures Towers. I've had, over the last 2 or 3 weeks actually, it's been the week of hell from work. Everything's just come to a head, and it's been, I won't bore you with it, but it's not been a fun time at work at the moment, just because there's too much of it, and I can't say any more than that because some of them might be watching. But let's just say I get exasperated sometimes. James is in. Ross Hale, how's Megatank? Straight in with a no beating about the bush. How's Megatank? It's fine. Just kidding. No, it's going good. We have now surpassed well over a week of it being completely full and running, up to temperature, holding temperature without needing the heaters on full time. If you're new here, Megatank is my little project that I've been working on for a few months. It's basically a homemade aquarium, 8 foot by 4 foot by 3 foot. I don't know why I always do it like that. It's like a little dance. Which for me is a very large tank. Well, for anyone it's a very large tank, but I know there are bigger out there. But I've dubbed it Megatank, or we dubbed it Megatank. I can't remember who called it Megatank first, but anyway, I like the name Megatank. It's been giving us some problems, so it's been a long time coming, and then when I got it there we had a few teething problems, but so far, touch wood, it seems to be okay now because we've got it in, we've got it running for a week. It did have a leak, it did have a couple of other problems, all that sorted. I think I'm ready to add fish, and now my only problem is which fish. So I know we've seen, if you've seen previous videos, I've got some fish that will eventually go into Megatank, but they're all juveniles at the moment. If I put them in Megatank at the moment, they'll just be lost completely. So I'm not sure what to do, whether I want to get a couple of larger fish, or add more adult sized fish that could still live in there long term once the other ones start to size up a little bit. I'm getting more and more into rays, so I'm not sure whether to start with just the rays I'm not sure whether to give Humphrey my large flower horn, to give him free reign of the tank for a while, because he's been in a tank that's a little bit too small for him for a little bit too long. So I thought I might let him stretch his fins for a bit. So I don't know, I'm kind of a bit stuck as to what to do. I've been thinking about doing aquascapes for it, or hardscapes at least. But again, not really decided. If you're new here, you'll come to realise very quickly that I'm quite indecisive when it comes to fishy stuff. Everything else, usually dead easy to pick one. But when it comes to fishy stuff, I'm a little bit indecisive. I find it hard to pull the trigger and commit to something. So, for instance, what I don't want to do is put in loads of wood and take up loads of the footprint of the tank with decorations and hardscape and then get rays, because I want them to have as much footprint as possible so as they've got plenty of space to move around in it. I'm not sure I want to impulse buy the wrong ray, because although it is a very big tank, I don't want to end up getting a couple of stingrays that are going to get 3-foot discs, because then that'll take up most of the... Yeah, so there's lots to be thinking about. But the important thing is, it's working, it's not leaked. The fix that I put in for the leak that it did have seems to have held, and we're good to go. There's a few things that I'm not quite happy about yet, so I'm not sure 100% I love the lights. I want to do some tinker with the plumbing and the sump. But yeah, it's pretty much there and could support fish if I wanted to put fish in there. I started working on my how much did it cost video, so we might talk about that a little bit later if anyone's interested in that. I've been totting up the costs. And I've also got... My ears seem to be popping. I don't know if... I sound weird to myself, so I don't know how I sound to you. Anyway. But yeah, if you're interested in the cost of Mega Tank, we've started totting that up. That's going to be the next video. But yes, touch wood, so far so good with Mega Tank. Will you talk about Aquarium? Be more specific, please, Mario. I'm happy to talk about Aquarium. Do you mean in general? Do you mean a public aquarium? One of my aquariums? All aquariums? The aquarium hobby? Where are we going with this? Oh, look at all these questions. All these yellow flashing lights at me. Best single malt drink to watch... Best single malt to drink while watching your fish. Sorry, YouTube is now sending me messages in the middle of my live stream telling me to insert ads. No, how would that work? That would just... Oh, okay. I'm going to ignore that. Sorry, YouTube. Do you know what? I'm a terrible Scotsman. I'm not that big into whiskey. Bourbon, yeah, love that stuff. Single malts, all that kind of stuff, it's not my thing. So I'd probably give you a bum steer on that. But I know, for instance, I think my grandpa liked a Macallan. Is it Macallan? Macallan, isn't it? Macallan. Whisk. Yeah, Macallan. So I'll go for that one, but it's very much arbitrary choice. It's not my thing. How come killfish look smaller in a large tank when the ugly ones look so much bigger? Well, one of the things I saw recently is, so Wharf Aquatics is quite close to me, so, and I follow them on Facebook, and it comes up with their like highlighted fish. They've got a load of scats in at the moment, and I quite fancy it just so as I can make a video titled I'm the Scat Man, and that will probably mean nothing to anyone unless you're of a certain age. And all that. But they looked quite cool, and they were quite large as well. But I don't know. Yeah, again, this whole pulling the trigger thing, I can't quite get myself around to it. Graham asking, question, is this highlighted yellow? It was, Graham, yes. David says, my canister filter seems to suck in air. It's an all-punch solution. Well, there's your problem. If it's an all-punch solutions EF something or other, EF 1000 or the UV version of it, yeah. Well, They're a good filter in that they have a decent capacity. They're very well priced, but I've said this 100 times. My all-pond solution filter was like Trigger's broom. I replaced every single component of it multiple times, and it still gave me problems. And it was a huge energy vacuum. It sucked up power like nobody's business. But yeah, I had constant problems with mine. It would be hard to prime. It would randomly start sucking in air. It would randomly break seals or lose grip, or baskets would stick. Problem after problem after problem. So if you are thinking of changing and you want to go for a canister, I'm a bit of a Fluval fanboy. I like my FX4, 5, 6. They're good canister filters. Again, depending on the tank, you might be able to get away with the smaller ones. So your 306, is it? What's the latest Fluval canister filters called? Excuse me while I Google. So I've had good experience with all the Fluval filters I've had. I know there tends to be two camps where you're either into your Fluvals or Eheims, both very good. Just because I say I'm into Fluvals, that's because that's the one I tend to have used more often than not. But everything I know about Eheim, hello, is also very good. So you definitely couldn't go wrong with that. And the people who love Eheim love it even more than I would love Fluval, for instance. Yeah, 307, 407, 306, all that kind of stuff. I just think they're very good, very efficient, good hard workers for canister filters. So that would be my suggestion. Go down the Fluval route. I'd also suggest, if your tank can support it, having a look at a hang-on back filter. So even I don't know if you can still see it over there, the Tidal from Seachem, if you can get that, if it works with your aesthetic, if it works with your tank, obviously. If it's not, if you've got a tank with a very wide rim like the Fluval Roma series, for instance, where they have the big thick rims and tops on it, that's just not going to work. Or if you have it in your living room, you just don't want an extra box on the side or on the back of it, then that's not going to work. But if you can accommodate it, great price, cheapest chips to run energy wise, loads of capacity for filter media, so I'd go with that. Aquarium Daily, hello. Sarson's is the best malt. Yeah, in the vinegar world, I would tend to agree. If your whiskey tastes like Sarson's, then there's a problem. Oh, pardon me. Christine's setting up my own mega tank, a Fluval Megaflex. Not so mega, but very cute. Do you know what? I kind of like the Megaflexes myself. I do keep an eye on the second-hand pages and things like that, because I think I just like the look of that. Loads of people keep trying to put me off it and say, oh no, it's a pain because of the curved glass, you can only see your fish from a certain angle and this, that and the other. But I think it looks cool and I'd like to try it. And the whole thing about the mega tank thing, so you might have seen my last video was about setting up my daughter's goldfish tank. I found that second hand on Facebook, on Marketplace. My second ever positive Facebook Marketplace experience. But it came with one of the Fluval, can't remember the name of it, but the smart lights. So when I was setting it up for that, he had named it Mega Tank. I thought that was brilliant. So he's got this little Fluval Roma 125, and that was Mega Tank because it was an upgrade from another smaller tank, obviously. So it's all relative. What's a Mega Tank for one is not a Mega Tank for another, and vice versa. And it cheered me up no end, that thinking, because I remember the joy myself of me getting my first ever tank, which I would now consider a tiny little tank, and upgrading to my 300 litre tank and being like, whoa, there's literally no fish I can't keep now. I've got this massive 4-foot tank, right, researching sharks, all this kind of stuff. And now I'm at the stage where I'm like, yeah, 8 foot by 4 foot by 3 foot, yeah, that's pretty big. Rather than, oh my god, that's a swimming pool. So it's a strange day. Why is it sucking in there? That could be the That could be the question of the hour. Because as much as I trash the APS filters, most of the problems are simple fixes. And for the price of these simple fixes, it might be better to just fix it and let it run for another 6 months. But I think with the energy prices going the way they're going at the moment, that would be the thing that would tip me over the edge. Not spend any more money on it, just swap it out for another one. Any excuse to upgrade new equipment, that's what I look for. Lucky escape day for us. The Fish Bit says, it was really cool seeing your build. I have a glass tank of near the same dimensions, so always curious how people stock their big tanks. Have you considered the mechanics of water changes? Sorry, I've just seen another message underneath that. I am not American, I just live here. I think that's me. I love when people feel that strongly, but I have to say this. I'm not American. Have you considered the mechanics of water changes? I have to a degree. I don't think I've quite got it sorted yet, so I've obviously had to fill it and drain it a few times, and that has been very much a case of dropping a hose in, starting a siphon, let it run out down the drive. For water changes, what I'd hoped to do would be put a T on the pump to return it back to the... start again when I try and make sense. Think about this first. So I thought I had bought a T. No, I have bought a T. God, right, try this again. So on the return pump from the sump, I had intended to have a T piece and then a valve above it that I could turn it off, and then it would force the water through the T piece, and I could unfurl a bit of pipe into my water change solution. So that's basically it. In my fish room, I have a water butt with a sump pump in it, and I change any tanks that I want to change into. I drain into that water butt, and then when it gets to a certain point, it pumps all that out into some big IBC containers that I can then use to water the garden or do whatever with. So I was going to just use that for a mega tank as well, but I didn't buy, or I bought the wrong size of valves to shut that off, so I can't easily, without buying another one, divert the water that way. So when I tried to do it as a test, manually, basically crimping the pipe to force the water along that way, it was too powerful. So I was filling the water butt before it had a chance to empty using the sump pump, and with the volumes that we're talking about here, that might not work. So in terms of like doing like a quick water change type sand clean or something like that, yeah, that will be fine for that kind of solution. But if I want to change 25% of the water in there, I mean, and to be fair, I probably won't want to do that often. And one of the beauties about a big tank is you don't necessarily need to do the same volume of water changes because the water's volume is so great in the first place. So I may have to look at some kind of direct pump, maybe a second sump pump out to the water storage containers that I've got, or just a second one out through the wall to drain away if I want to do it that way. But it's not necessarily something I'm that bothered about, because I've got several options. It's now more about refining which one I want to use to see which one's the best option, I guess is the way to look at it. Mario says about your wooden aquarium. So that's the one that we've been talking about. That's Mega Tank. That's now how Mega Tank is doing. David says not sure where it's leaking from unless the seal just isn't working. The seals can be the problem, and that, to be honest, is the cheapest fix. I think you can even get from All Pond Solutions seal packs for all their filters. And even if you do that, you can try the Vaseline trick. So where you get the rubber O-rings sit in the various bits that seal together, get some Vaseline, rub around it, and that remakes the seal when you shut it again. That can buy you some extra time, or you can just buy the new O-rings. Sometimes an O-ring just gets a bit pinched because you've replaced the head unit or something like that a little bit off, and it's crimped it, so you just have to look for a little bit that might have a little bit of damage or a little bit of a kink in it, and then reseat it, and sometimes that'll pull things back together again. question, how's Mr. Bubblehead doing? Professor Bubblehead, I'll have you know. Professor Bubblehead is doing fantastically, well, as far as I can tell. Really happy with that. I mean, the fish itself is extremely expensive for what is essentially just a goldfish. Just a goldfish. But my daughter loves it. It's great having her really getting involved in it. She's done water tests every day since we've got that tank set up. She's getting right into it, making sure. She's like, Dad, did you say this is 0 or 0.25% ammonia? She's been on my website looking up how the cycle works, asking me loads of questions about filtration. Oh, it's fantastic. So Mr. Bubblehead is in safe hands. Mr. Bubblehead, Professor Bubblehead is in safe hands. And yeah, I couldn't be happier that she's getting into this. She's done really well with the Mr. Snowflake, the betta fish that she had for a while, looking after that, doing water change. Well, not doing water changes, telling me water changes needed to be done, because that's my job. But yeah, I couldn't be happier that she's stuck with it. It's the kind of thing that kids will get into for 5 minutes. It's like, I want a hamster. Yeah, I've got a hamster. Can't be asked to change it or do any of the work. But she's loving the fish, looking it up on Tinterwebs to find out what the best food for them is, looking at what the parameters need to be, how hot, how cold, ways to do the filtration, do what different types of water tests, all that kind of stuff. She's even got her own TikTok channel where she started making TikToks about fish. So she's the mini aquarium adventures of the TikTok world. But yeah, he's a lovely looking fish, or she's a lovely looking fish, Professor Bubblehead. And I do like fancy goldfish, so it's nice to have that there as well and keep her happy. Whips World. Hello there, Whips World. NJW, have you kept cichlids before? Yes. If you mean... So, I'll qualify that. Discus are cichlids. So, yes, I've kept cichlids for a long time. But sometimes when people say cichlids, they mean like African cichlids or South American cichlids and that kind of thing. So I've never kept African cichlids. I've never kept a lot of the South American or Central American ones. I've had a Texas cichlid in the past. I've now got Oscars. I've now got a gold som, which I think it is, rather than a green terror, which is what it was sold as. So plenty of experience with different types of cichlids, but there are just so many cichlids, it's hard to say, oh yeah, I've kept all the cichlids. There at Simon saying, yes, the advantage of all pond solutions is most of the replacement parts are easy to get and fairly cheap. How's Megatank? Hopefully this is me catching up with the chat, but yes, it's doing great, full of water, ready to go, just deciding what to put in it now. Lanx Fluval, definitely seeing good. Great job. Enjoy watching these videos. So I think the next video on that will be about the costs of Megatank. Mad Bren, Aquarium Adventures, where do you get your Discus from? I'm at the moment of deciding if to go with Discus or Angelfish. Well, let me help you with that. Discus. Next question. Well, I got my Discus from somewhere that no longer exists. I got mine from Corbin Discus. They were one of the few places in the UK that brought in Martin Ung Discus fish. And I must be honest, I didn't pick them from there because I wanted Martin Ung fish. Turns out Martin Ung fish are very good fish, but I picked them from there because I knew the owner and trusted his opinion and trusted his judgment when it came to good quality discus fish. But there are plenty of good quality discus suppliers in the UK, so pardon me, if you want to, you can reach out to me on Discord and I'll tell you without libelling myself or slandering pardon me, slandering anyone, which ones are the good ones and which ones are the bad ones to avoid. But there are plenty of good options in the UK to go with Discus. Angelfish, I don't want to sound snobbish, but Discus fish, angelfish, in my opinion. There are some that cross over that divide. And that's not to say that angelfish aren't cool in their own right. I have some angelfish. I do like them. I enjoy them. But I just think my Discus are a little bit higher up there. Angelfish are a lot cheaper, so that might be a consideration factor. They can usually tolerate lower temperatures, for instance, and therefore a wider range of tank mates. So that might be a consideration if you want to have other things in your tank along with your Discus or your angelfish. But angelfish can also be completely mental and go on killing sprees for no apparent reason after years of completely calm fish keeping. So it's more about, if I was to advise someone how to choose what fish you want to keep, it's what fish you want to keep. It's something I struggle with, as I've been saying about Mega Tank. I'm like, oh yeah, I want one of them, 5 of them, so, and then you end up going, no, that's too many things. So it's really about pulling the trigger and deciding this is the thing that I want to go for. So in my case, it was Discus, and I just got hooked on them. And then because I was hooked on them, and I wanted other fish that I couldn't keep with Discus, I had to get the next tank and the next tank and the next tank, and then here we go, you get a YouTube channel and a fish room. Eight foot, 3 foot, 4 foot, big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Have you ever been to a fish auction? I went to one on Saturday. It's a little strange. Even if you don't win the bid and the winner didn't want all the fish, you got to buy the rest at the same price. Yeah, I mean, I love fish auctions. My local club is Sheaf Valley Aquarium Society. I've not been to one for a while, I must admit, but I used to go to them quite regularly. I completely missed the last one. I intended to go to the last one and completely missed it. So the next one's in September, I think, and I'll definitely be going to that. Because you get things you don't always see at your LFS. And you certainly get prices you don't see at your LFS. And it's things like, even if you're not interested in buying more fish, things like, I've got books before that I've bought at fish auctions where, in fact, you can probably, if I move my fat head out of the way, well, some of them that I've picked up at fish auctions for like 50p a pound. Plants, usually you'll get big massive bags of cuttings of plants and things like that for a couple of quid, where you'd have to buy 20-30 quid's worth if you were buying them from a shop. Decorations, hardscape, equipment, even heaters, pumps, caves, all kinds of stuff, at really good prices normally, as well as probably the healthiest fish you'll ever buy from anywhere, because these are proper committed hobbyists who are selling off the projects that they've got. So they're breeding projects. It's not mass-produced fish that are shipped across the world, stuck in a Pets at Home tank, and then you buy them hoping for 10% of them to survive. These are well cared for fish who have been fed well, brought up well, or raised well, will be strong and healthy, and offered at dirt cheap prices. It amazes me that they don't cost more when you get them from an auction, because they're 100% better than the ones that you can get in most shops. And yes, they'll often have things like, you'll be bidding on a batch of cories, and somebody will be desperate to get some of those cories, but they don't want 12, they only want 4, because they've already got 4, and they just want to get to 8, and they can't handle 12, so they'll give them to you, often for free. So were you in next in the queue, gives a £5, then you can take the rest. Yes, really good times, as well as the amount of knowledge in the rooms at those places. So quite often the ones that I've been to, not just the SVAS ones, that a lot of them have been tagged onto the end of a club meeting or a show of some kind, the Guppy Society, or doing a talk or whatever it might be. So you have lots of people in that room with lots of knowledge, and speaking to some of those people, rather than listening to the likes of me who just happen to have a YouTube channel spouting nonsense, speaking to the people who have been I've been breeding this particular pleco for the last 30 years, and here's some of the things I've found out. And you're like, wow, that information is just not available online, because that's 99.999% of the things that I learn about fish is from websites, forums, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it might be. And these people just aren't on there because they're busy looking after the fish. So it's a great thing to do. I'm going to sound like a complete hypocrite because I'm not actually a member at the moment, but I would always consider joining a local fish club just for that side of things. It's great stuff. Sorry, I'm probably miles behind, so let's see if we can catch up a little bit. FishVet says, my ray is practically a pet and I highly recommend them, but I would say that even 8x4 is still small for big rays. I have a mini marble and I think that at a 14-inch disc is perfect. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm getting at. Lots of people who have been reaching out to me because I've obviously made loads of videos about making a mega tank. And they're like, oh yeah, you can have my rays, I've got these. And it turns out they're like, yeah, that's going to end up bigger than the footprint of the tank. I don't want that kind of stuff. So, it's just hard not to be rude to these people. And you feel rude when they're offering you something that's actually probably quite expensive for free. Like, well, no, I don't think I can take that one. But even the smaller rays are still big, so it's that kind of size that I'm looking at. Can't wait to see fish. You and me both, Rockies. Macallan Gold, my second favourite after Glenrothes. Yeah, that means nothing to me. Wharf's down the road from me. Is that how far back I am? Sorry. A spiced rum and coke will always go down well whilst watching the stream. Yeah, this is a chance to get the tipple of your choice. Sit back, ask me some questions, see what we get up to. Listen to me cough. Good choice. A spiced rum and coke, is that like a Morgan's or something like that? Or a Kraken? Is Kraken spiced rum? Or is it just rum? I can't keep up with my drinks these days. Common pleco looks huge in the indoor pond. He's pushing 50 centimetres. Yeah, I'd quite like to get into big plecos, but I'm a bit worried about them maybe getting a taste for the liquid rubber. So I might add them later after a while, once I've got a bit more confidence. Out having a family meal at the moment. Engagement celebration. So I take it that's your engagement, and you're still on here commenting. Oh dear, I worry for your future. You should be just doing the engagement stuff, not here. But thank you for reminding everyone to leave a like and share it to the social media of your choice, as they say. Oh, the lambs spiced rum. Lambs, that's like the proper Navy stuff, isn't it? I've just set up the kids' 12-foot pool in the garden, only 6,000 litres. Do you think you'd mind sharing with some fish? There's a lot of people that do that. So there's a koi channel that I follow quite a bit, where that's essentially what he did. Get one of those big massive swimming pools, wrapped it in bubble wrap, and that's what he kept his koi in over the winter. Are you still breeding discus? Well, I sort of am, because I do have 2 sets of discus eggs going on at the moment, but I'm not intentionally breeding them. They just happen to be getting a bit frisky, shall we say. But no, that is definitely a future project, but I'm not actively breeding any at the moment, no. Just add some Gararufa, pond, pool and spa as one. Yeah, you could just start charging money and people to get their pedicures. Sorry, chat is moving all over the place. I'm late to the party. Have I missed the Mega Tank update? Yes, but everything's fine. Don't worry. Graham Askham, I'm considering keeping Discus. Is it inevitable that one will end up bottom of the hierarchy and bullied into the corner? It is if you get too few. If you get enough, and I would say the minimum would be 6, then you greatly reduce the chances of that happening. it is quite common to get one a runt, for want of a better. Cause if you buy them fairly young and they're quite small, in my experience, there's always one that gets a little bit left behind, but it can normally be perfectly healthy, and it's a bit smaller than the rest of them. But the more you buy, or the older you buy them, the less chance you have of that being a problem. So it shouldn't necessarily need to be inevitable, if that makes sense. Sharpie's comment here is possibly more accurate. It's inevitable with Discus that you'll see the lecky bill and wish you went for something else. So, I mean, these days that is a consideration. Can you justify the costs of heating a tank to 30 degrees or whatever you choose to go to? Because it's a thing. Electricity costs it's a thing, yeah. There you go, thanks Fishkeeper. I've got a group of 10. One was a runt, but not really bullied by others. Yeah, that can happen. Everyone checking the points. Question: advice. Being given another tank is 60 litres. Seen a smart bet at the local fish tank. What fish could be kept with it? Oh, see, this is one of those difficult questions. It really depends on the betta. Because my experience, I've had lots of bettas over the years, and the personalities of them, they're like opposite ends of the spectrum. Some of them are murderous, crazy bastards. Some of them are the gentlest, most kind companion fish you could ever wish for. Generally, other smaller fish, so anything bigger, it seems to aggravate it. I don't know if that's true or just my experience. Pardon me. But I've kept better with shrimp before, and they've been absolutely fine. Smaller dither fish, sometimes you can get away with. Obviously, try and avoid anything with flowy tails or anything that might resemble a betta in any way, because that'll just send it off more likely than not. If you are going to keep them with some, I don't know, some small tetras or something like that, it's generally better to have the other fish first, then add the betta to them, rather than have the betta, let him establish his dominance in the tank, and then add some new friends for him to play with. And you might see the friends as food. So, I mean, 60 litres is a big tank for a betta tank, so it's probably big enough to support a small school of other nano-y fish. Oh yeah, as Sharpie says, any zoomy nanofish. So anything that can get away quicker than the betta can catch them. But yes, generally they're a solitary fish. Most people would advise that, but I have seen it done. Yeah, there's Mad Bren saying the best fish, a fish best kept on their own. Have you decided how you're going to fix your Discus tank? Yes, I have decided. I'm just waiting for... So, the next job on the DIY house upgrade tick list is to replace the floor in the hall, which is where the Discus tank is going to live. So once I've done that, strengthened it up a little bit, got the insulation in and all that good stuff, we can get the fish tank back in place, and then I can start work fixing it. And to fix it, literally all I'm going to do is buy another panel of glass and silicone it in place, and that should be fine. I've often kept better with Harlequin Rasbora. Yeah, Harlequin Rasbora Cories. Yeah, I don't see why not. Neons, definitely, I've seen neons lots of times. I've done neon tetras myself. Some of the larger tetras, they can, not even larger, I'm not thinking like Congos or anything like that, but like the penguin tetras or lemon tetras. Lemon? Oh, I almost said lentil there. Or silver tip tetras. They start to get into a size where I think the better start to see them as a challenge, so stick to the smaller ones. I breed Discus, but the male is chasing the female. Have you ever experienced that? What, in a problematic fashion? Is that what you mean? A male chasing the female or vice versa, that's a normal thing. But if you mean where they've already bred, I have had it where the male has chased the female away from the eggs because the male's busy wanting to fan the eggs, or the male's just gone defensive and choosing whatever fish comes anywhere near, whether it's the mother or not. Or if you mean before they've bred, maybe they're just not a compatible pair. I'm not sure. I need a little bit more information on that one, Mario, to see if I can help with that one. I find they're hit and miss with shrimp. Had one that, yeah, that's what I mean about the personalities. I've had loads over the years, and one would fit into every personality type. The one thing I'll say about, so I mentioned about angels earlier, saying they can turn into murderous gets. You can keep an angelfish for 10 years and then one day it'll just snap and decide, I'm killing everything in the tank today, and that's that. My experience with betta suggests that if it seems calm at the start, it's not necessarily going to flip later down the line, because the mental ones have been mental from day one and the calm ones were calm from day one and remained calm all the way through their lives. So Hans says, this is the second time I've moved my big fish from my 540 where I have a school of emperor tetras and they go into hiding when the big fish are gone, so I moved goldfish in with them. Yeah, it's weird, the dynamics of fish. And so with the Discus world, for instance, that dither fish is a thing that we talk about quite a lot, where you will put in a smaller fish that will give the bigger fish the confidence to come out, which just seems weird. You'd think it'd be the smaller fish that would be the ones that are skittish when there's big fish around. But anyway, the smaller fish swimming around, the big fish go, must be safe. I'll come out and have a look as well. I've noticed it with my snakeheads, very, very shy. The arowana, very, very shy. Something that in that is thinking, right, I've got to get other fish in there. Because when they were in the shop, for instance, they were kept with other fish and they weren't very, very shy. So some fish, when you just, if you give them somewhere to hide, they'll hide there. And I get that. And I think the snakeheads are a little bit like that, where they're just too comfortable. Where they're like, I've got abundance of caves to hide in, so I'm going to hide in them. And I'm a bit like, I kind of missed a trick there. Maybe I shouldn't have designed the tank that way. Whereas, I think if I just add in some dither fish, but pick dither fish that they won't necessarily eat, we might get them out a little bit better. So that might be an experiment that I'm doing in the next few weeks, shall we say. Bristle noses are great with bettas, just not longfin. Yeah, I can see that. I mind you, I did have a bristle nose that got a bit shirty with a betta fish, so it went the other way around. I think the betta had to go at his bristles. And he was like, I'm not having that. Come here, I'm going to stick the nut in you. Neons with the betta, and they munched on poor Norman's fins. Yeah, I suppose you've got to watch out for the tetras, because they can attack. They can be a bit nippy as well, some of them. So, large group and replacement rather than extra tank. That's the way to go. Larger or older group. That's the key to Discus. Buying young is a great experience, but it's hard work and fraught with problems. If you let your breeder or your specialist do all the work for you and buy them a bit bigger, it's so much more hassle-free. It's an experienced couple of Discus, and sometimes they seem to start spawning, but then they stop and the male starts to be aggressive. Yeah, it might just be that a bad pair. It's not necessarily something you're doing wrong. They might just not be a very well bonded pair. Cheers for the advice. Well, whoever gave them advice, well done. So, we are almost to the top of the hour. I think we need to do a bit of shameless shilling. So, if you are new here, we release videos normally at least one a week. occasionally we slip. We have live streams on a Friday night where we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But tonight's been fairly fish heavy. Normally there's a lot more about other random subjects. But yeah, if you are into this kind of thing, consider subscribing. Click that subscribe button, which should be down there somewhere. If you are members of any Facebook groups or Discord servers or Reddit whatevers, share my links on there as well. Bring more people in. The bigger the community, the more we get to cover, and all that good stuff. If you want some fish food, check out aquariumadventures.co.uk. Links should all be in the description down below. If you want to buy some of my merch, check out both my website, where you can buy all these high quality embroidered t-shirts, polo shirts, towels, fish food, all other manner of things which help support me in my ridiculously expensive fish hobby. Right, I think that's enough shilling for one night. Why have I got hundreds of messages? Just bear with me a second if I inadvertently gone offline and not noticed. Who knows? Maybe nobody's actually out there. Oh no. Seems to be okay. Seems to be okay. Why is Google insisting that I insert ads everywhere? Go away. Right, sorry about that. So, click the things, share the things, buy things. That about cover it? Yeah, cool. Let's move on. Why not put the Congo tetras in the mega tank? I quite like them where they are. They're in the African tank. It's my first ever biotope, and I'm going to milk it for all it's worth. I'm really enjoying that tank. It's doing really well, apart from the plants in it. I wish I hadn't bothered with that. But no, I mean, I could put them in there, but even the Congo tetras, they'd get lost in there as well. They're not that big. Question, you mentioned earlier something that merch that was annoying. Oh, yes, so little face. So this is my other merch store. So this is Spreadshirt. So allow me to talk about this for a little while. So if you want a t-shirt, a bag, a hoodie, a hat, a mouse mat, a dog bandana, a mug, whatever, you can get pretty much anything with my logo on it or one of my logos on it. And if you click on it, you get to edit it as well. So down here you've got this little pencil thing. You can adjust the design, you can add your own text, it's a really quite a cool feature. So if you don't like that being there, you can move it down there, or you can move it over there, you can make it smaller, or you can make it bigger. You can do loads of stuff and move it around. You can add things in to customise your own designs, or to customise my designs to your own tastes. So that's fine, all grand. These are, I don't know if they're screen printed or what. I don't specifically know the type of printing that they use, but they're printed rather than embroidered. If you get the stuff that's on my website, that's embroidered. That's done by one of my subscribers, one of our supporters, Phil at Elite Logos. He does these, and these are done to order and sent out. And this t-shirt that I'm wearing now, for instance, so it has Aquarium Adventures on the sleeve, it has the logo on the front, it's embroidered, it's been washed a bazillion times, and it's still as fresh as it ever was. These ones, I have to admit, after a couple of years, they will fade. I mean, they're still good enough, they'll last a while, but they will eventually fade. These ones, much more longevity. But there's more you can do with these ones to customize them yourself, so that's all fine. One of my other subscribers, so I had a video a while back where it was me climbing through a hole in my garage wall to try and run some pipe work so as I could get my water change thing to do it, and I got stuck on the way back out, basically. So, happened to be filming it, my wife pissing herself laughing, filming this. And I got jammed in this hole. So, a large man gets jammed in the hole, brilliant. But proper crushed my testicular region. So, here's a money grab for you. If you give me a super chat right now, you'll see that moment, because it's like, oh my balls, and so it became a bit of a meme almost for the channel. And one of my other subscribers was a graphic designer, and he said, oh, I'd love to make that for you, and we could put it on a t-shirt and it could be merch. I thought, oh, that's quite funny. Yeah, go on then. So he made an Oma Balls design, and it was like moss balls instead of testicles, because nobody wants testicles on a shirt. Which was great and everything. So I uploaded it to the Spreadshirt, because it's not the kind of design you can necessarily embroider, so it didn't really work for that. So it was only on the Spreadshirt shop. And then this happened. So it was up for a few days. I think 4 or 5 people bought t-shirts, and then it got rejected by Spreadshirt and said it was for design quality reasons. And they don't really tell you what the design quality reasons are. It just says design quality. And then if you look into this, you can say, oh, well, that can be all... Oh, I'm not going to do it now, but it basically says it could be anything. It could be not transparent enough, the edges aren't defined enough, the image was blurred, the image isn't high enough resolution. So I did another one, which is this one, where I made sure the moss balls were super high resolution. I made sure all the images, the edges of the images were crisp. I loaded that one up again, sold one, and then they've rejected it again with the same design quality. So it's doing my head in. I'm not sure how to fix it, and I'm pretty sure this is what it is. It's this bit here within the spread shop, where it's having trouble perfecting your design. No worries, our graphic service helps you to complete your design. Just tell us what you need. So obviously this is a paid service where I get them to make it work. Which just, I mean, I don't even think it's that expensive. It just irks me that I should be able to do it myself. But there you go. They're trying to get 12 quid out of me to fix that and make it good enough that it can go into the thing. So what I was thinking was, the Oma Balls logo is a bit of a niche logo. How many people are going to be browsing through Spreadshirt and go, oh yeah, I really fancy that shirt? So I was thinking of saying to you lot, anyone who wants an Oma Balls t-shirt or logo, I don't know how to do it, but basically I can put the design up and it will last 3 or 4 days, and then it'll get taken down again. So whether we get people to pre-order, I don't know, or just say yes, I'm down for it. Join the Discord, let me know if you want one. We'll arrange a date that'll put the logo back up again. You can all jump on and buy it and then go away in again. Does that make sense? Does that work? That's what was annoying me anyway. It's because Google isn't making enough money off you. That's why they want to put ads in. I know. They do always say it as if it's, oh, you as the creator can make more money by putting more ads in here. And you're like, no, that's not how it works. You're just going to, yeah. For every pound YouTube makes off an ad shown on my page, I think I get like a third of a penny of it, if that. Raymond, pick up 6 Discus, loving them. Good. The more the merrier. The Discus keepers of the world need to unite. Make sure that they're still kept and considered the kings of the freshwater aquarium hobby. Oh, bear with me a second. I'm just about to have a coughing fit or a sneezing fit. I can't decide which it is, so I'll be back in a second. Sorry about that. It was both a coughing and a sneezing fit. Anyway, send me the high resolution and I'll send it. Oh, I will do that. Thank you, Phil. I mean, it might just be because it's moss balls that's just too tricky to do, and that's why they were flaking out about it. Raymond's got all 6 inches plus. All 6 plus inches. That's what she said. Red pigeon, red panda, red Turk, blue and yellow mixed cross sunshine and a red cover. I'm stoked. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I mean, that is one of the keys. If you buy them large enough, most of the problems have already happened and you'll be fine. Resolution's great, it's just your balls are too furry. Yeah, I got a lot of things about my furry. That's not what I meant to say. What do you think? I've defurred myself today. Even unmonetized channels get ads on them now. Yeah, well, I think they always did, didn't they? It's just that they had no, well, they still do have no claim to get any. Well, it's been a long time. I'm trying to remember what. I'm pretty sure ads were still shown on my channel before I got monetized. It's just I didn't have any right to claim any of it. Furry balls. Graham needs a Manscaped sponsor for his moss balls. Yeah, I could do a Manscaped sponsor. Just for the old face. Clear up some of the face fuzz. Maybe if you made it more of just like a peach fuzz instead of furry. Well, I think I'm just going to have to pay the money to get them to tell me what they want to do, because I think that's why they're being so vague. At the end of the day, it's not breaking the bank. It's only 12 quid or whatever it is, but it's just annoying when they accept every other design straightforward straight away. But you know, I mean, it's only merch. It's not. Was the interlude tank with Discus? That was my old Discus tank. Before I moved house, so yeah, that was a while back. One of many iterations of that Discus tank. Sorry, I'm trying to read 2 things as well as talk to you lot. I have mentioned Discord. Have I asked you to subscribe yet? Because I've got a button down here that says wrong side. It says subscribe. I keep forgetting that I've got all these buttons that do these things. Look, Discord, no. Oh, yes, no, yes, no, yes. Discord, you can join us in there and tell us. I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Oh, yeah. So during the week, rather than having to come up with ideas to talk about things as and when, so like right now, if you're on Discord, there are chat channels where you can do things like live stream ideas, topics you want to cover. We've got Fan Friday, so if you have been one of the lovely person who has bought something in the last couple of weeks, in fact, I'll show you. Shall I show you? That's not quite what I meant to do, but for instance, Fan Friday, if you've got some of my merch, like the lovely Jennifer here, she's out there repping. Let me see if I can make that the right size. Repping the old Aquarium Adventures beanie hat. Yeah, show me your stuff when you're wearing my merch. And even better if you've got one of the rare misspelled bumper stickers. I really want to see them out in the wild. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So that's you can share me your own pictures. I might even put you up on stream as well at some point. But we've also got these channels, so as well as the normal general chat, anything you want to know about subscriber. So this is kind of morphed. Subscriber tank was meant to be the African Congo tank, the Congo biotope that we set up, but it turned into all my subscribers' tanks. So share me pictures of your tank. Talking about mega tank stocking, so if you have any ideas that pop into your head, yeah, let's put in there. Live stream video ideas. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to be covered when you come on the live stream? Again, doesn't have to be about fish stuff. If you find any pictures of some dodgy fish tanks, or even your own tank and you want it to be roasted, stick it in here, we can talk about it. Fish corn plans, remember that was a thing. We need to get back into that soon. As well as anything like plant trimming exchanges, buying and selling, swaps, all that kind of stuff. Jokes, inappropriate things that you might have found. So Discord is the place to ask lots of questions without being judged, without being shouted at like everything else on everything else on Facebook, for instance. But anything that you want to see on the live stream, this is a good place to ask for it, basically. Right, so, sorry. I'll catch up. With lots of aggression and territory fighting in the new Discus, it's been 2 weeks, starting to settle down. Yeah, well, that can be a thing. Obviously, they want to stake their claim for their own little patch. They want to make sure, I'm top dog. No, I'm top dog. And then, yeah, it should start to settle down. Normally, that's a good sign, because normally it'll go the other way, where they'll just all hide, because they're like, what the hell's going on? Where we ended up in here? We've been kidnapped and we've been moved to a strange place. Oh. So getting them out and getting that bit into that bit quickly, that's a pretty good sign. Shave your balls. What, on stream? Well, maybe for a big enough super chat. No, in fact, no. There is no super chat big enough to make me want to shave my balls. BB Algae. I'm too old to figure out that Discord. Very complicated. What room should I be in? Just make yourself known. Say, I'm Raymond. And then someone will come and help you. And you're not too old. Because I made that same statement when somebody said, you should get a Discord server. It's much better than Facebook. And I got a Discord server. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I had to rely on some of my mods to help me set it up properly. Could it be the light in the aquarium? The Discus couple seem to be alright when the lights are off. It could be. It's very unlikely unless the light is blinding, that the light would be the problem. I mean, it's worth trying. It's not that hard to cover up a light to see if that makes any difference. BB algae in your Discus tank or other problem shut down. Oh yes, I did have a horrific blackbeard algae problem in my old Discus tank. No, we managed to get on top of that. We sorted that out. We managed to sort out the sorry, I just saw another message there. I had to release. We sorted out the algae problem. That clip's years old now. The thing that shut my tank down was obviously moving it over here when I filled it in the new house. So I moved house. I keep saying I moved house recently, but it's like 6 months ago now, if not more. God, that's a point. October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. It's a long time. 10 months. I had to count that 5 times. I've not got enough fingers. Without having my main display tank up and running. So we moved here. I'm not 100% sure if it's because of moving the tank that cracked it a little bit, and then me filling it up with water cracked it a lot, or something else. Uneven floor, uneven I don't know what the problem was, but when I filled it up, it started to leak, and I thought it was just a little leak. Turned out it was a big old leak. In fact, maybe I can show you.
Oh, my balls.
Oh, something happened. Oh, my balls. So, yeah, there you go. That's me climbing out of the hole in my garage. Thank you very much, Raymond, for your £1 super chat. Or your $1 super chat, rather. Yeah, that was the ball crushing moment. Let me turn this down because it's going to be loud.
Do not be funny. I know it's hard, but you can't be funny.
Oh, this bloody thing. Right. Let me go, little face. So this is my TikTok channel. If you're into TikTok, come and watch me. But this is
my last video. I had a bit of a leak with my display tank here. I just wanted to make a quick video to make sure nobody panics if they experience the same sort of thing. Because I've just moved house, I've just moved this tank. It's probably just a seal that's gone.
Sorry.
Everybody, you might have seen in my last video, I had a bit of a leak with my display tank here. I just wanted to make a quick video to make sure nobody panics if they experience the same sort of thing. Because I've just moved house, I've just moved this tank. It's probably just a seal that's gone. So we can take a look at it and I'll show you how you can make this really quick and easy repair. So the water was coming out of this side, so all you have to do is make sure you clear away all the substrate from that side of the tank so you've got a nice clean area to work with. And then we can take a look at the
Boom, boom. So that's what happened to my big tank. The bottom pane on one side of the base. So all I'm going to do is take that out, replace it with a new one, silicone it in place. Hopefully we'll be good to go. That's my plan, at least. Now I've accidentally deleted chat. Hopefully I've not stopped the live stream. That's what I was laughing at earlier. Sorry, that just popped up there. It's a wise old saying: man with shaved balls has big itch. I know. I was thinking that as I said that. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 5 or 10? Oh, I'll count again and still not use my other hand. Yes, very good, very good. I like that one. And remember, if you join as a member, you get to use your own custom emojis, just like this. Thank you very much for the super chat, Raymond. $1 super chat for shaved mossballs. I'm happy to shave some mossballs, but let's leave it there. So I have 3 batches of fry to house and only 2 spare tanks. I think you're going to need to get yourself some kind of predatory fish and do a bit of crowd control. The best way to get rid of BBA is 200 bristlenose plecos. Anything that's covered with BBA gets a short vacation in the pleco tank. Yeah, it didn't work for me. I tried that, but no, they wouldn't touch it. The only thing that would eat them in the end was the silver flying foxes. They made short work of that. XL Flourish, not sure okay in the UK. Yeah, no, that is a thing. I mean, I did, when I had my BBA problems, this was a while back, I did let them get a bit too far carried away. I was kind of hoping that I'd get to a point where I could go, oh, look at this, it's terrible, and then fix it and make a video about fixing it. But I kind of got to a point where, oh, look at this, it's terrible, and then tried to fix it and failed. So I tried the XL and Flourish, tried the spot treatment, tried the whole tank treatments. I tried various things to get it, hydrogen peroxide, all kinds of things. But the only thing that got rid of it was half a dozen silver flying foxes who went in there, and a week later, gone. And I was pretty well infested with the BBA stuff. for BB algae spot treat every day or every water change. Yeah, I mean, if it gets under a certain point, solutions like that will work. My preferred solution is hydrogen peroxide, because that you can see it working almost. It'll kind of turn red, and then at that point, lots of fish will eat it. I've never really had great success with the Excel and Flourish approach. Maybe I'm happy to accept that I was doing it wrong, but it just didn't work for me. Whereas hydrogen peroxide did work for smaller infestations, but for the big infestations, the only thing that would work would be the fish. Sharpie calling you 200 bristlenoses, amateur. I think you might be the premier UK breeder of bristlenose fishies at the moment. Right, sorry, we've made it to, it's now 22:22. What a nice time in the UK. A little bit of stat check. Who have we got here? We've got concurrently 54 users viewing with only 45 likes. Come on, people, you can do better than that. Oh, what's that button that I've just pressed? Hopefully I haven't kicked you all out. But shall we do a little bit of a giveaway? We have some of the best writing pens available on YouTube. The Aquarium Adventure... Oh, look at those fingernails. Sorry, I was doing some gardening earlier. The Aquarium Adventures patented pen. It's not patented, but it is a pen. We have some key rings, some stickers, some pens. So we're calling this the interim giveaways. If you want to win some of these things and you live in the UK, I will send you them if you win them. All you have to do to be eligible to win is click the subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, I will find out and I will find you. If you're not in the UK, you can nominate one of our UK viewers to receive said pen, or said prize rather. And to do it, all you have to do is type a word into chat. So we've got no Courtney this evening, so I don't know what word to choose. Oh, why is this not working now? There we go. Right. All you have to do is I kind of want to say manscaped is the word. Right. In the chat, all you have to type in is maballs. MABALLS. Like this. Or even this. Maballs. MABALLS. Type that into chat, you have a chance to win some stuff. This will be the only giveaway this evening, unless we do a secret one at the end. We probably won't, but you never know. Furry balls. Oh, that was much better. Right, cancel that. We're using Kaylee's furry balls. FURRYBALLS. We're now going to have 5 minutes of everyone typing in my balls. But I'm changing it. It's my right. Thank you, Kaylee. Furry balls. Go for it. FURRYBALLS. Phil's going to challenge you on bristlenose pleco production. Surely there aren't enough tanks in the whole of Britain to support both of you having thousands per week. What happens if you put one of the angel fry with a bunch of discus fry? Will the angel fry eat the mucus? I don't know, quite honestly. I'm going to guess yes, because they're very similar in the way they breed. But I don't know. Never done it. So Raymond says, I use a syringe to point it right at it, shut off the filters. I haven't had luck with peroxide. Funny how some stuff works for some and others for others. Yeah, completely agree. There's things where, and it can be anything from filtration media to like solutions to problems like this, where some people will swear by it and other people just can't get it to work. I think a lot of it's to do with process and explaining a process, and I see this all the time where, and YouTubers especially are guilty of this, where they'll say, oh, this is the easiest thing in the world, all you do is bish bash bosh, done. And they'll show you something where it's like a 20-second sequence of something they've done that's actually taken them a week. So the people that are watching the thing think, well, that seemed to only take them 2 minutes. And they don't show the majority of the things because it makes boring videos, is why they do it. So I understand why they do it, but it gives a false impression to the people who are watching it, trying to learn off it. So it's a very hard balance to strike, where you're trying to do something. If you're trying to make a video that's educational, of showing you how this thing works, if nobody's going to watch it, then it's not educational at all. If you cut out too much, it's not educational at all, because you've missed out the key steps to the components. So that's problematic, shall we say. So unless you've got a huge audience, you can't really get away with that type of video. I mean, lots of the hydrogen peroxide videos that I watched, people would just say, oh, hydrogen peroxide, it's this thing, and it kills blackbeard algae. On to the next thing. Well, how does it? Do I pour it into the tank? Do I take the thing out of the tank and pour it on that? Do I leave it submerged in hydrogen peroxide? How do I use this? What's the application? And some of them would say, they'd go as far as to say, okay, drain the tank so you expose the blackbeard algae, and then put it in a squishy bottle, a spray bottle. And then they'd show them spraying it on it, and then the next scene would be it dying off. But they wouldn't show, right, you need to leave it there for 20 minutes or whatever. They just keep missing all that information out there. So it was a bit annoying. Pardon me. Right, we've got 19 eligible users. So last couple of seconds. Fuzzy balls. Furry balls, not fuzzy balls. Furry balls. If you're not in the UK, you can still enter. You just have to nominate someone in the UK to take your prize for you. We'll give you one more minute, and then we'll put it back on. My balls. Question. I see question. Oh, me plums. Question. What's the subscriber number standing at? My subscriber number? Good question. 13 something. Whatever tells me. 13,816. That's annoying. I had 820 before we started. I've obviously upset 4 people in the time we've been on air. I'm terribly sorry. Not really. Right, are we ready? We'll do the giveaway. Fuzzy duck, does he? Little face. So, drum roll please, and then we'll roll for a winner. Leanne Myers, you have won. Congratulations. I will send you some stuff. Who else are we going to get? Should we do another one? Should we do another one? Should we do another one? Yeah, why not? Let me turn down the volume because that was a bit loud. Winner number 2 is Simon Littlefield. Hooray! Well, I don't know why I'm doing this when I have my own sound effects. Hooray! Congratulations, you two. You know the rules. Up here, no, you won't, because that's not there. I was about to say, up here, you'll find my email. Up here, you'll find my email, graham@aquariumadventures.co.uk. Send me an email, let me know where you live, including your county and postcode and all that kind of stuff. I'll send you some stuff eventually. If you do it quickly, as in tonight, you might get into the one that I send out over the weekend. Everyone else, thank you very much for entering. You know, hang around for the next half hour. We might do a little other one. You never know. What is that? Oh no, that's not you. Sorry. Right, okay. Let me get back to... Why is that there? Sorry, there was a pinned message trying to sell you stuff. Furry balls, furry balls, furry balls. Paul McCarthy, not McCartney. Hello there. My BBA in the community tank is a constant battle. I've cleared some areas, but still patches in other parts of the tank. Yeah. Mine, when I got rid of it, it never came back. Like any algae, it seems to be, it's all about finding the root cause. You're giving too many nutrients are getting in somehow, and it's figuring out what that nutrient is, whether it's light, whether it's too much CO2, whether it's too much fish food, whatever it could be. It's figuring out what the root cause is, because if you get rid of it all, it'll still come back again if you don't change anything. I think a lot of people fall foul at that point with like, yay, I got rid of it. Oh no, it's coming back. Of course it's going to come back. I'm cultivating some in my fish room at the moment. One of my fish room tanks, so I've got 2 tanks next to each other. You've currently got the Discus in them. But the smaller tanks are at the top row on the left. The one on the right, nothing. The one on the left, the heater and the filter, covered in BBA. And the 2 tanks are identical, so they've got the same fish in them, they're kept at the same temperature, they have the same light above them, they get the same food. So why is one getting more than the other one? Or why is one getting BBA and the other one's getting nothing? And the only thing I can think of is it's light, because although they've got the same light above them, more of the light is going onto the tank that's getting the BBA than is the one that isn't. So is it too much light that's causing it in that scenario? Who knows? I'm now cultivating it just so as I can make another video about BBA, and maybe I'll try the flourish and the injecting it thing again to see if it makes any difference this time. Yes, Leanne Myers won the giveaway, as well as Simon Littlefield. Congratulations both. Let me know where to send the stuff, basically. Gaz VK13, currently waiting on my new nano tank conditioning. Oh, cycling, what are you putting in it? What are you keeping, Gaz? What will look better, the Discus or the Geophagus once grown? Discus, of course. Don't know why people keep asking these silly questions. I'm always going to say the Discus is best. Geophagus is another one that's getting back into my what am I trying to say? It's ingratiating itself back into me. I hated geophagus because I foolishly bought some without researching them properly, and they destroyed perfectly good aquascape for me. But I'm seeing them more and more and thinking, a big group of them might look good. Father, your mum says hi, looking good on my new laptop. Have a good thumbs up on me. Yes, your package is also sitting waiting to go out. That should go out at the weekend. Yes, my dad's just bought a new laptop, and the joke is that my Father's Day card was actually a voucher entitling him to 2 hours of free technical support. So I've advised him on a new laptop to buy, and now we'll give him I'll put it in the envelope now, a card reader and a thumb drive. I've played with lighting, turned it down by 40%. I think it's just trial and error. Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm doing a Zoa garden cleanup crew, so a salty tank. Oh, very interesting. Email me the details. Excellent. Any prize winners, let me know. I shall get some stuff out. My two nieces love my main tank because it seems to have hundreds of red cherry shrimp. Yeah, I'm having a little explosion of cherry shrimp myself at the moment. Lots of people, good evening, Mr. Kerr. That's very respectful. Hi, Papa Kerr. I was chatting to my dad about this the other day when I spoke to him. He finds this all very disconcerting that random strangers on the internet are saying hello to him. So please, leave my father alone. Right, what else did I want to cover tonight? I did think about stuff earlier on, but I was too busy and I got caught up with work and it got in the way. Did I write anything down? No. So, costs, mega tank costs. That was the main thing that I was thinking of. So the video that I've been working on a little bit today or this evening, probably if I get a chance, Sunday this might come out, if I get around to making it in time, was me totting up all the receipts of everything that I bought for Mega Tank and seeing what it came out to, basically. So what I'm interested in now is, you've heard me talk about Mega Tank before, you've seen the videos. 8 foot by 4 foot by 3 foot. What do you think it cost? Because I think that could be quite interesting to show in the video, is the general of aquarists as well as non-aquarists, the general perception of how much do you think it would cost to make Mega Tank. So I've shown you the videos of me making it. Pardon me. It is essentially a wooden frame, stud wall type construction, boarded out with plywood, a big bit of glass, some liquid rubber, some silicone, some other bits and bobs and pipe work. What do you think? What would be your guess? So let me know. Let me know now in the comments. What is your guess? How much do you think I've spent on it so far? So before I put a fish in it, so the whole premise of the video is going to be, we're ready for fish. But before I put a fish in it, how much have I spent on this? It's not finished, because I still want to, for want of a better term, I still want to tart it up a little bit. I want to face it off with some nice... It's funny these days that we're talking about, I want to face it off with some nice plywood, as if plywood's now a luxury material. But it is. Get some... just basically make it look nice as well. I want to tweak the plumbing a little bit. I want to add some more tech that I wouldn't necessarily add. So I'm counting to now that we've got a functioning tank. So we're seeing some numbers coming in. I like Ross's. 12.50 stickers for the nearest. Okay, definitely give some stickers to the nearest guess. I've not finished totting it up, so I can't tell you. I want to know for my own research purposes. In fact, I could probably finish totting it up now, because what do we get to there? Plumbing a tank. Yeah, I've got a rough number, but I do need to check some of these things. So, some of the guesses. Got 3,000 from Simon, 1,500 from Scott, 2.5 grand. 8 plus 4 plus 3 equals 2,000. 12.50, 2,500. Some of you are close. I think we've got a winner there, though. Double what you budgeted. Yeah. Not how bad. That's a difficult one, because what I budgeted was based on old information. So I think I've said this story as well before. I kind of planned this in the old house. I wanted to put like an indoor pond in my old fish room in the garage, and started specking it out how much everything would cost, and that gave me a number. So that number was in my head, and that number was under £1,000. But when I came to do this again for this mega tank, everything. So I know I've moaned about how expensive glass was, but plywood, almost if not more than double the price it was when I first spec'd this out. The stud work, 2x4s and 2x6s or whatever they are. We'll talk about this in the video, but the stud work was literally went up £1 per length almost overnight. So I was looking at everything, planning it out, doing my calculations, see how much it would cost, and then when I came to press the button to buy it, oh no, it's not that price anymore. Yes, I know this was £4.50 each yesterday, but today they're £5.50. Oh, what the hell? Wood was just going through the roof, and considering it's mostly a wood construction, it's quite a thing. So I will say that some of you have been quite close. Okay. Thank you for your guesses, but Raymond and Sharpie have got the best ones so far. Twice what I thought, and mega expensive. Yes, definitely. Your marriage. No, not quite yet. The thing that might push that over the edge is if I try to keep it as a heated tank and can't get the cost for that down. But pardon me. But it was always something I wanted to do. So even though I've moaned about how expensive some of the bits are, it's still, the big question to me is it cheaper than buying something? Because what would have royally pissed me off is if I spent all this money and I could have just got someone to build something for me, and it would have been around the same price. So I think I've managed to do that. Well, I'm almost certain I've managed to do that, but it's more about all the other benefits, the soft benefits. Like, if I'd bought a tank that size, I wouldn't be able to get it to where it needs to be, because it's too big to get through the door and round the corner. So building it in situ was a big thing. £5.5 grand, Rockies. Jesus, if it cost that much, it would have cost me my marriage. So you'll have to tune in for the video over the weekend to see how much it did actually cost. £18.50. So it's interesting that we've got quite the spread there of what expectations are. Some of you, I'd like to talk to you about selling you a bridge. Cheaper than petrol. Yeah, you're not wrong. My car's hybrid electric. It's only got, you can run it up for 30 miles on full EV mode, but I generally just take the kids to school and pick them up again, or go to the shops or do that, so I can normally just use EV mode. A few months back it told me I had to change the petrol because I hadn't used the petrol enough, so it wouldn't let me do electric anymore. But yeah, I took my wife's car to the petrol station to fill it up. The last time I filled that car up, the last time I drove that car and filled it up, it was something like 80 quid to fill the tank, and 80 quid didn't even get me 2/3 of a tank. We're not including fish in the price. We're including everything that's got me to the stage that I'm at the moment. So equipment only to get it to a stage where it's ready to go in. I mean, I have made some concessions where there are things that I've reused because I already had them, but I've tried to put in cost for them as if I had to buy them, so we'll know that. So I'm going to be presenting two prices: how much I actually spent out of my pocket and how much it would cost if you didn't have anything at all and bought this. What? Oh, my wife's now standing over here waiting to hear the price. I'm telling them I'm not giving them the price. I'm setting this up so they have to watch the video where I give them the price. It was dead cheap though. Almost £300. Yes, that's. She's gone now. £1.50. Yep, definitely. I'm going to be in trouble now. Likely cheaper to get the steel and buy a weld. Yeah, probably. It was more than that, Paul. Let's put it that way. £1.50, the rest was donated. It was not. All donations gratefully received. That's not even a word. All donations gratefully received, because that all goes to help pay for this kind of thing. It's definitely the most expensive aquarium project that I've ever gone into, and that includes all kinds of things, like building the fish room out, buying specific tanks, fish, groups of fish. I mean, I probably have more money invested in some of the fish that I've got if you totted all the fish up, but it's going to be close. £300? No, definitely it was £300. I think she's gone now. Can you really? There you go. That's what we need. Sunstealer 70. Can you really put a price on joy? That's what I'm hoping for. So far, it's been all stress. So hopefully the joy will kick in at some point. I think once we actually get some fish in there and I get a bit of confidence that it isn't going to just explode and be a complete money pit, then we'll be fine. The most expensive part of the build was the double purchase of silicon after the leak. Yeah, definitely. We'd love more tanks, freshwater and marine, but prices now are astronomically funny. I mean, there are still some good deals out there to be had. That Fluval Roma I picked up, I think that was a cracking deal. I got everything for 80 quid. I would not have been able to do anything near that if I was buying that new, or even a few months back. I think now, I mean, the sad reality is fish keeping has become a little bit too expensive for some people, so a lot of people are either downsizing or just getting out of the hobby, and it's not good, but yeah, you get to take advantage of it. It's one of those things where I'm relying on someone else's misery to profit off it. So, well, it's good for me that now there are finally some tanks out there on the cheap. Because I don't know about my American friends, you don't have this problem, but over here, it's not. We don't have dollar per gallon sales, things like that. It's just ridiculously cheap, ridiculously expensive to buy tanks at the best of times. And I'm sure it's the same in America, because I've talked to some of my American colleagues over there who are experiencing the same thing. The second-hand market is notoriously full of overly ambitious people who think they can get more money than things are worth. So it's always been quite a hard market, the second-hand market. But I am now starting to see deals. So we're getting there. Wood dealers are the new drug dealers. I know. I even commented on that. The guy, when he gave me the tank, he gave me a sheet of plywood that the tank had been sitting on. He's like, "Oh, do you want that?" And I was like, "Yeah." I didn't really need it, but I was like, "Oh, I'll use that for something. Plywood costs a bloody fortune." Well, we're waiting. Price? Oh, you're not getting the price tonight. You have to tune into the next video. This is what's your classic cliffhanger, setting you up with a tease. So as you tune into the next video, and then you find out the answer. Did you happen to check the expiry date on the first round of silicone? I didn't, to be honest. I will have a look at that. I don't think that was a problem. I bought it fairly close to when I used it, so hopefully that's a problem. That's not a problem, rather. Yes, Raymond, tune in to the next video to find out the answer. No, says Raymond. Well, I like your straightforwardness, Raymond. No, I will not tune into the next video. Oh dear. People are getting out. I'm just getting in. You're joining in the last few minutes of the stream, Sun Stealer 78. All the lockdown hobbyists are selling. Do you think that's what it is? Maybe it is. So the excuse this person that I bought this tank off of was he was working a lot more. So kinda to do with that. So he'd bought it during lockdown and was now being forced to go back to work more often and was spending more time away from home and didn't have as much time to look after the tank. So yeah, I guess that fits into that category. So yeah, as John Floyd Mann says, they're offloading the tanks they got in lockdown. They're happy to get there, but I know I have spoken to another few people where I've sent messages to say, "Oh, what does this tank come with? A lid? Has it got this, that, the other?" And they've said to me, "Oh yeah, it's just too expensive to run, so I'm giving up my tank. Do you want the fish that go with it as well?" I don't know. No, I don't. That was the other thing that annoyed me this week. Scott and I have talked about this. I finally got accepted into the Facebook group Fish Rehoming UK. And somebody wanted me to rehome their fish for £450. That's not rehoming, that's selling. And it's not cheap either. No price tonight, that's it. We're all going to block this channel. Right, I'll give you a clue. One of you was very close. That's all I'm going to say. Unless I get enough donations and super chats to cover the price, then I'll happily tell you. But you've only got 5 minutes to get them in, because then I've got to go. Your wife will, she want half. I mean, this was paid for out of my own money rather than family money. I've said this before on the channel. My aquarium hobby is funded by YouTube earnings, Aquarium Adventures earnings. It's not funded by my proper job wages or anything like that. It's my money. So I'm not dipping into the kids' funds for holidays, food, clothes, all that kind of stuff. It's very much paid for by my savings, shall we say. Which is why I'm a bit nervous about Mega Tank, because it's kind of wiped out most of them. I'm not going to tell you the actual number, am I? That'd be too easy. Then you wouldn't watch the video. I'd tell you if you'd all promised to watch the video, but you won't, so... Nah. Steiner Walker, hello there, how are you? Nice to see you again. Price of joy, she told me $50. I guess that depends on your definition of joy and where you get it. What end of the street. NJW picking up an Owassi. That's how we say that, I'm pretty sure. A Highline 400 this weekend. And did you get it for a good price? Ross, your money. Must show my wife that one. What I mean by that is it's not family money, it's extras. It's my allowance, it's my pocket money that I'm allowed to play with on my own. I can't believe I've upset so many people by not telling you how much I've spent on a thing yet. We will, bloody tell us. No. Oh, pardon me. High temperature alert from a 720. It's no heater and it's 28.1 degrees. Wow. There you go, Scott. If you're looking for more fishy fun after this, feel free to watch the Cold Water Aquatic stream. If you don't want to do that, you can join the Discord server up there. Look, I got that right first time. If you are new here, I don't care whether you've enjoyed it or not, but click the subscribe button anyway. You might like some of the videos. You might find out how much it costs to build Mega Tank if you watch the next video. So click that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you think, whether it was close to what your guesstimate was, what you think the equivalent pre-built might be or custom built might be. Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting one. It's certainly, totting up the prices has made me think about things a little bit more, because it's like, oh yeah, I did have to, oh yeah, I need to get that, oh yeah, I've got this one. It's a significant number, but then again, it's a significant tank. So I'll leave you with that this evening. Click all the buttons you can click the likes, click the shares, click the subscribes, click the joins, click the clicky things, and watch the next video, because you'll be notified about it. And then I'll see you next week. Bye.